All right, so for those of you who weren't able to make it up to Bowdoin, I wanted to get some highlights out to you, and we'll start out with the defensive side of the ball. I was really proud of the way our defense played in this game, particularly in a lot of adverse situations. We did a really good job getting the quarterback out of the pocket and flushing them and making them run around. Held them to 36% completions here. This is a stunt that we're running with our Sam linebacker and Rob Gow and Preston Kelly, our field end. Lyle Baker was our defensive player of the game on the defensive side of the ball. He had 4 tackles for losses and did a really good job against their right tackle. Now, Bowdoin's a big downhill, kind of a little old-fashioned football team. A lot of 21 personnel, a lot of power, run game, and I thought our guys did a good job matching up with them physically. But then also what they try to do when you stuff the box like we were doing is try to get the quarterback out on some bootlegs. And our guys did a really good job with their assignment football against the bootlegs, covering people up and loading on the quarterback. On this play here, Tom Savansky, who's playing the run play and then comes off on the quarterback, and Rob Gow reads the bootleg and loads, and real good coverage on the front side. As you can see by our corner and our strong safety, Spencer Donahue. Similar type of play here, play action play. We're stunting Rob Gow, our Sam linebacker here. This is actually a run stunt that we're using, and they threw play action pass. But what you can see on this play action pass, great job by J.P. Morales, our safety. Joe Diaz taking this climb away. And then Brian Donas, who was outstanding in this game, is all over the receiver in the one-on-one matchup. Another thing that happened here is sophomore Matt DeAndrea played a big game, best game he's played since he's been at Trinity. Really did a good job putting some pressure on the quarterback here. This was a big series for us defensively. Our offense had turned the ball over, and we were losing the game at the time. And our defense went out and stopped them and forced them to kick a field goal, which they missed. Another similar type of stunt that we used before with our Sam linebacker here, this time against a bootleg play. Tom Savansky, our senior outside linebacker, plays the fullback to the flat, and Brian Donas does a really good job in this one-on-one situation here of playing this comeback route. Steps in front, almost gets a pick. So really, defensive guys, I was proud of the way they played in this game in some adverse situations. We had a big discussion with the team last week, big theme about next man up, because we played with some of our key players out due to injuries. Mike Weatherby, our senior outside linebacker, did not play in this game. Chudy Regulum, our starting tailback, did not play in this game. And Mike Mancini, one of our other captains, went down early. And J.P. Morales, a senior who's been backing up Mike for the past 2 years, really had his first opportunity to play meaningful snaps and came up in a big way and made some really big plays, as you can see in these highlights. There's one of them there, similar type thing where we're bringing him down into the box trying to stop the run, and he beats the block and had a couple tackles for losses. Same thing here against the power play. And I had somebody comment to me after the game, we brought a lot of free safety blitz. We didn't actually bring the free safety blitz. JP just came in the game to replace Mike, and he stepped up big time, came down into the box and played really aggressively, and was a big part of the reason we were successful in the second half. Another situation here, talking about the next man up, Kevin Martin actually moved to outside linebacker this week when Mike Weatherby was injured. This is the first, he literally has practiced this position 3 days and made some big plays for us. Here, we're going to crash him inside the tight end and blitz the boundary corner against a run play, and Kevin, does a really good job. And I mentioned earlier, Matt DeAndrea, our sophomore nose guard, really holds up inside as well. And we held Bowdoin to 200 yards of offense in this game. Kevin Martin again on a similar type of stunt here, going to come underneath the tackle. Now, by moving Kevin Martin outside linebacker, it forced us to take freshman Liam Keneally and get him into the game here. He moved into the second in the depth chart, and he stepped up and played very well, about 20 snaps in this game as well. You're going to see here Lyle Baker, I mentioned earlier, our defensive player of the game, going to split a double team here. Liam's going to read the counter that they run and come downhill, and not only reads the play but plays off a block, and between the two of them, they end up making this a negative play. Show that to you one more time. Special teams wise, we had seen earlier in the season that they were very aggressive with their punt block team. They like to bring 8 guys, and we felt like we could take advantage of that. And this was a situation where we were going to leak Mike Mancini out our wing and have Kyle Pulick throw the ball, which makes you a little nervous when you ask your punter to throw the ball. But they executed this very well. We're on our own side of the field here on a 4th and 9. Makes you a little nervous to call this in this situation, but when you've got guys that you can rely on, it makes it easier to call these plays. And this was a big play, shift in momentum for us. The other thing is Kyle found out in pregame that Ben Rosenblatt wasn't healthy enough to kick, and so Kyle got pressed into service as our field goal kicker and our place kicker, and he came through big time with this field goal early in the game, and then making 2 extra points and kicking off for us. He's been a huge weapon for us as a punter, but he came through big time in this game kicking as well. Offensively, we kept kind of stubbing our toe, but we were moving the ball like crazy and then not able to finish drives, and we had a couple of turnovers. But we did end up with over 400 yards of offense again. A couple plays here with the freshman Spencer Hawkamp in. Gus Ackley replacing Chudy in this game. Those guys had some good things. We were running the read game early on here, and Spencer really got some things going. There's a play there out of the read that we've been running. Similar type thing off of the jet sweep, bringing Darian Myers, trying to pull the defense off on the jet sweep and then run a quarterback counter play, which is blocked really well. Another play with Spencer at the quarterback position. Another read play here with Gus Ackley coming downhill, reading the defensive end. He respects the quarterback, so the ball's handed off to Gus. Makes a nice cut. Really good block here on the front side by freshman Chris Simmons, who played really well for us, and sophomore Angel Tejada. Now, we struggled to be consistent in the run game. We had some big plays, and then, but not enough of them. But did do a good job in the pass game. Henry Foy was 17 of 24 in this game. This is a big 3rd down play where he's going to hit sophomore Nick Gaynor on a seam route here versus cover 2. Good throw in a tight window, and our receivers played very well in this game. They made a lot of big plays. There's one of them there. This is something we need to do more of, actually. We need to do a better job with this. Bowdoin was doing a lot of crashing and a lot of stunting to try to stop the run. This was a play where Henry has the choice to hand the ball off or throw the screen out here to Darian Myers. And we get the ball out to Darian, who's dynamic in space, and big pickup of 10 yards right there to get a 1st down. Here we've got them again kind of stuffing the box here, and we're going to hit freshman Brian Vieira on a slant. And Brian runs past the safety, starts to get us down into the red zone there. Similar type play here. This is going to be off of play action, and you can see we're into the 4th quarter here, down 10-3. Our defense had made a couple of big stands to keep the score 10-3, and we're finally going to get into the end zone here with a double post off of play action. Darian Myers is going to suck in the inside safety and the middle safety, and Henry's going to hit Brian on this outside post to get us tied. Another play action pass here. This is the tie game. Now we're trying to get the ball down the field and trying to get the winning drive, and we're going to hit Mike Budness here. They're going to play cover 2 here off of this play action, and this is just a really well thrown ball by Henry. He throws Mike open, because if you look at this right now, Mike, the linebacker, actually did a really nice job of covering this route, and this linebacker's dropping on the hash, but Henry's going to throw the ball here and lead Mike and throw him open, and Mike makes a nice catch. That was a big play for us there. You know, Gus had 25 carries in this game, and you know, he made some big plays for us. And as he gets more opportunities and more experience, he's going to be a good player for us. This is the touchdown that puts us ahead. We've got senior Chris Ragone out here isolated one-on-one on their corner, and we're going to double move the corner. Chris does a nice job with this route, and I like the way Henry throws this ball almost kind of back shoulder. He doesn't give it a lot of air, and he leads Chris into the corner of the end zone, and that finally put us on top 17-10. You can see Mrs. Budness was really excited about this play. This we were able to kind of ice the game here. They had been disguising some corner crashes and things like that. We had told our quarterback all week, if we've got a run play called and this corner starts to crash, just turn and throw the ball. And we caught them here. They're actually in a zone pressure, but the corner's trying to disguise. And Henry sees that, and Ian Duggar reads it, and Henry just comes off the play and leads Ian down the field. And that was a big play for us to kind of ice the game. This one too here, we had just gotten the penalty and got knocked back into a 3rd down situation, and we decided this was kind of the game's on the line here. We're up 17-10. Are you going to run it and punt it maybe? And we said we're going to take a shot, go back to the double move to Chris. And again, Chris ran a good route. Henry threw the ball where only he could get to it, and Chris got 2 feet in bounds, and that was a big play. And then this kind of iced it here. We're going to, this was after a holding penalty. We're going to hand the ball off to Ethan Sirachi, the freshman. I want you to watch freshman tackle Chris Simmons, who played really well in this game. Watch his block on the linebacker. He just really shocks that linebacker and opens up a big hole. And Ian cuts it inside of Mike Budness's block, gets it down inside the 5, and we're able to run the clock out at that point. So big win for us. Tough football game. Our guys really came through in the 4th quarter, and now we're basically in playoff mode here these last 3 weeks.